Just a moment here, if everyone wants to give Ananth a big round of applause. We are really grateful that you're here. Come all the way from Australia. I don't know if anyone's been to Australia before, but you're traveling for a day. That's not fun for anyone. And so we really appreciate you, getting on that long flight and being here with us today. Ananth has prepared, he's got it, yeah. Or actually, yeah, can we take that just in case? Thank you. He's prepared a presentation himself that, you guys, can we see the presentation on this side? So he wrote this presentation. I'm going to help to kind of read some of the words and thoughts, and then he's going to also speak and share a little bit of his story. But thank you for putting this together for us.
Thank you.
So he wanted this disclaimer. He's not a doctor. Consult your physician before you make any decisions. And he made this presentation to share his personal experience. And you want people to know that you're an MND patient, which is Motor Neuron Disease. Awesome. So Ananth was diagnosed in February of 2022. Your initial symptoms were curled fingers, weakness in your right arm. And these are some of the drugs you were put on in 2022. How do you say that, Dan?
Riluzole.
Endeavoron. I have a translator. And you were on those and you didn't feel much of an improvement, right?
Yeah. I did all the...
Hold on one second.
I did not see any improvement. Yeah.
Is this mic on?
Okay.
This mic on?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any improvement with those medicines. Yeah.
Now, on the drug side, we're not here to really disparage the drug industry, these things, because we get moments of these things. So Riluzole is a drug that blocks the calcium or blocks the NMDA receptor, which is related to this glutamate hyperactivity. So the glutamate hyperactivity is a legitimately known mechanism of ALS. So it is very legitimate to try to find a way to block that and reduce it. The problem with it is when you just try to identify one thing. And then Endeavoron is an antioxidant that neutralizes peroxynitrates. And so again, this oxidative stress pathway, if we can reduce the oxidative stress, it's legitimate. And these drugs were approved because over long periods of time, they could delay the progression, okay? And this is I'll go back on this, but it's one of my personal pet peeves in the industry. Rare diseases like ALS are extremely valuable diseases. So Endeavoron is about $130,000 a year drug. And it basically has limited number of maybe a month or two of improved survival in ALS. And we see this with rare diseases in children as well. And so it's just a challenge. It's not a negative concept of the industry, because that's where the job is, but they measure symptoms or outcomes. And we just need to use that science appropriately. But yeah, so that's your experience. But it's a common experience.
So in 2022, you also went from the feelings in your fingers and your arm to you basically lost the function of your upper limbs. Is that right?
Yeah. I couldn't lift my hand. Yeah. From 2022. Yeah.
Couldn't lift your hands from 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in 2023, it moved to your legs, and your speech started to slur more, and you had to use a walker.
Yeah.
In the first quarter of 2024, you noticed a rapid decline in your speech and more fatigue, right?
Yeah.
You were telling me you used to basically just sit on the couch and you didn't have much energy, right?
Yeah. I couldn't even talk. And whenever I talk, I used to hear my tone. And now I can talk, but it's a very huge sound now.
Yeah.
I may immense, yeah.
So you used to not be able to talk, and when you would, you'd have to clear your throat, right?
Every few minutes I need to clear my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I say Hi.
Even when you say hi,
Yeah.
you had to clear your throat.
Yeah. And now I can talk long. But yeah, there are so many people here.
There are so many people here,
And
and you're doing so great.
my voice is saying that no, I cannot talk.
You're talking. He was telling me earlier that sometimes it's, things like stress or, make it a little harder to talk, but you're doing great.
I am trying my best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after a long trip, and normally I try to get people not to do too much travel because sometimes ALS people get a little cocky when they get better, and then it's still a very dangerous disease, and so you have to really keep it careful.
But you're here to share your story so other people listening, maybe it can help them, right?
Yeah. My own.
Right on. So, you've experienced more of a rapid decline, and then in January you discontinued working, and you were very, you're a brilliant guy. You were a founder, CTO of a startup, right?
Yeah.
And so you had to stop. What did you do at your startup?
More of give me a minute.
Yeah,
Technical solutioning.
technical solutions,
Yeah. And then managing a team.
managing a team,
Yeah. And then meeting new customers
meeting new customers,
and presenting my work.
and presenting your work.
Yeah.
So you had to stop working in 2024 of January.
Yeah.
And was that kind of what made you want to find some sort of solution?
Maybe, yeah. Not only job, yeah, even family.
Family.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
One of the cruelest tricks of, or ironic, or just cruel about ALS is that this desearing overactivity, desearing is actually how we learn. It's a core component of memory. And so ALS, the desearing, while it's destroying the motor neurons, it's actually making them smarter. Take Stephen Hawking's, for example. So as their brain is getting damaged neuromuscularly, your cognition and your awareness and your ability. ALS plants are very sensitive. They have incredible knowledge of their own personal bodies. And so as they start losing function, it's not that they don't lose any cognition. They become more and more locked in their bodies. And so the same disease that's actually destroying their motor neurons is actually improving their cognitive skills. It's pretty cruel.
And so in February or March of last year, that's when you started working with Dr. Goodenowe.
Yeah. It's almost a year now. Yeah.
Almost a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I made the text small on this one. Okay, so in 2024, which was 1 year ago, so it's been a year. In those years, your major improvements were the rapid decline stopped and very slowly improving.
I believe so. Yeah.
You believe so?
Yeah.
You said huge improvement in quality of life. You said active participation in family events, being involved with your kids' activities, managing your finances and personal care with assistance. You had a part-time job after losing your job, and you are progressing towards more and better emotional controls. What's the part-time job?
And technology and consultant.
Technology consultant.
Yeah.
Awesome. You noticed improvements in your voice. You're better with one-on-one conversations. I was just chatting with you and your wife outside. Yeah. You still cannot speak properly with words beginning with S, P, and H.
Yeah.
And the stress makes your voice more sluggish and slurred.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
I find that so much, like the fatigue and voice control really go hand in hand so much. As you lose your energy, it's the speech control goes with it.
Yeah.
You said in your lower body and legs, you had better flexibility in your knees and hips,
Yeah.
and muscle flexibility improved and spasticity?
Yeah.
Good, the doctor's in the room helping me out. Reduced. So you felt better with your lower body?
Yeah, I knew that I do feel better flexibility and length in my legs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like could you do anything you couldn't do before?
I can walk in one hand. My caregiver hold my hand. I walk with them.
Your caregiver holds your hands and you walk with them.
Yeah.
And there's a time when you could not do that? Before the treatment,
Take your time. It's okay.
he had brain fog, fasciculations,
This is our job every day. Our whole company, basically, this is what happens. So
fasciculations, which are the
twitching, muscle twitching.
loss of individual muscle control, muscle cramping, leg muscles, stiffness, upper body muscle atrophy, slurred speech, unable to be in chaotic environments, and temperature changes made him shiver. Emotions were easy to kick in, uncontrollable, laughing, or crying. About 4 to 8 months into the treatment, he could speak longer without clearing his throat. Slurred speech as the day progresses, better energy throughout the morning, ability to tolerate chaotic, noisy environments, better tolerate towards temperature changes. Moving in bed became less of an effort, and he was practicing the two-hand supported walking. 9 to 12 months into the treatment, he had a much more spontaneous and fast response when speaking, volume control and ability to shout and sing, better breathing control when lying flat, better emotional control, easier recovery from exhaustion and exercise and fatigue.
I think he has pretty well an average emotional control based upon our N of 3 right now.
Yeah. Practice one hand, practice one hand supported walking. Yes. I think this is something that's really important as we can all connect to is he still can't do a lot of things and he needs our help. He still can't walk independently. Doesn't have coordination in his hands. Things are still difficult for him. Obviously, he has some slurred speech, and stress can make these things worse.
So hopefully sometime in the future, a target is, can you use a mouse yet? So that's one of our goals. Our milestone is to be able to use the mouse. Because a lot of computer work in the past.
And this is about multidisciplinary care. His family members were taking care of him until 2024. And he started professional care in the third quarter of 2024. The professional care reduced the burden on his family, and heavy tasks such as toileting, showering, and personal care from the professional care team, which helped to reduce the emotional trauma and reduce the risk of falls and injuries. He also has biweekly sessions with his physio and speech therapy. He wrote a very heartfelt thank you to Dr. Goodenowe and the team. He said, "In late 2023 and early 24, when I was progressing very rapidly, and I realized that I had very limited time and energy left to be with my family, maybe the end of me until I found your treatment." I already read this like 3 times so that this wouldn't happen. I practiced too, but after going through the treatment for months, I got hopeful that I can still be part of my family, be purposeful, and a father who can still be relied on. I hope to improve further with your treatment, and someday I will be independent. His thanks continued. He wanted to make sure he thanked his family and his wife for being patient with him, his friends, the VM Care Services, Moondeep, Joshi and the team, NDIS program, and M&D NSW. One more big round of applause for Ananth.
Good job, Ananth. So this is the kind of warriors all of these ALS patients are, right? And to share your story and to share your emotion, because for whatever reason, this disease affects some of the most highly functioning people, firefighters, athletes, high functioning individuals. These are people that have been mostly incredibly independent all their life. And then they lose that independence, but they also lose it themselves and their feelings of control and power, and be able to understand that that's really an incredibly normal response. And which is why we really focus on this disease, first and foremost, from a trauma-based perspective. Because if you can't get through this part of the disease and really have a program, people around you to give a shit, okay, and you're not dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff on top of it, it's, and this is a 4-minute mile. You're running a 4-minute mile, but you got to run that 4-minute mile every week. Okay. And that's the hard part. It's the sustainability and putting people together for these things. It's not, and this is where people get in our industry, you do a half-assed job at first, you do an injection, I develop a drug, it's no longer my problem. Okay. I hand it off to someone else. Okay. And then that person goes away. They go to some other program. So they hand them off on a physiotherapist, they hand them off on this and that. And so the part of this process we have to figure out over time is really how to take care of people. And if you want to do longevity and long-term care, it's not about a 15-minute doctor appointment, okay? It's about sustainable care long time. And that's time-consuming. And you're asking the medical industry to do something that it's really not designed to do. And so this is what us as a community and our ability to share these stories and your emotion so people can really, because the faster people get through that and understand it, and the caregivers themselves, right? Like the caregivers didn't sign up for this, okay? They didn't, this is a challenge, and their lives are challenging. And so, like you said, getting the care structure around them, having proper mechanisms to give caregiver support, both their own psychological challenges, because it disrupts their, trajectories in life, and because your life has changed. And resetting your baseline. That's the hard part. Like, so we set the milestones, like, target, be able to use a mouse in the future. Okay. The target isn't to go skip rope or rock climb. Okay. Because when it happens a lot with people with these very severe diseases is that they remember their old self. They remember their marathon running, firefighting, physical self, right? And that's seared in their minds. And they want to get back to that person. And you can fall into the trap that anything less than exactly what I was before this started is going to be a failure. And you have to reset the baseline to where you are now. And then in our job as scientists and as providers is to document that information. Because when people get to, I'd say when you get to day 31 or you get to day 95, for that individual, day 95 is just one day after day 94. Okay, they can't remember day 0. Okay, and if you're not measuring and tracking and saying, okay, and then your family members, people that aren't around you, will say little changes, because you want to own those small improvements, okay, because you've earned them. And sometimes if we don't document properly and do our job of helping them do this pathway, then we're stealing their own successes from them and setting those milestones. And this is where the sustainability comes in and the ability to do this long term and look for one small gain at a time. And that's tough. It's easy for all of us, or not even easy for us, but it's truly, we can have empathy, but as much as any of us will try, we aren't in the actual shoes of an ALS patient, okay, or a mother with a rare disease child. Okay, so we have to really respect that concept and understand that those people have their own world and get people together for that. So anyways, and the team and the network of individuals and being able to share your story and build communities for people to do that. So anyways, that's what we've been learning over time. And
So,
still a long ways to go.
yeah, well, you did it. You're here. You traveled from Australia. You shared your story.
And you went shopping yesterday?
He's taking his daughter to Disneyland on Monday, right? So you did it. As we're wrapping up here, is there anything, you don't have to, is there anything you want to say while you're here?
Maybe not.
Maybe no?
Yeah, maybe thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge thank you to Ananth for sharing your story and coming here.